night, Rocko. Buddy. Buddy. Why did that happen? Why? Gosh, man. Can you bring it over here? You didn't notice it when that happened?
He had it this morning. I noticed him being like eating with it hanging out. He was trying to fix it.
So this morning, which is when Rocko has his vet appointment, his tongue broke off. And I just found it on the towel. He still appears to be able to like drink and eat, which I didn't think would be possible. I don't know how it's possible. I thought I'd always heard that if their tongues break, that's the end. So now I'm just really freaked out about what I'm gonna hear today. So basically, ever since I started keeping Rocko in the house, which was like the previous 3 days leading up to taking him to the vet, and that was just because I wanted to keep an eye on him all the time. I was just really nervous about things going wonky, and I was seeing things that I knew weren't right, but I didn't necessarily know what was wrong. And so I was just trying to get video proof of things where I could maybe play it back or slow it down and try to figure out exactly what I was seeing that was just making my spidey senses go crazy. And I was having a hard time describing things, even the stuff with his tongue. I had a really hard time just explaining what I was seeing because I didn't quite know what it was. And so just videotaping him all the time, especially while he was in the house, was my kind of way of not only documenting this for anyone else who goes through something similar so that they can kind of see the progression and compare it to their own story and have more data since there's just not enough out there, but also as my way of hopefully gathering better evidence of what was going wrong. And so we just had the camera out, but we never saw the point in which he lost his tongue or it broke off or he snapped it off. We have no idea how that happened. There was no sound. There was no immediate behavior change, which kind of told me that based on diabetes really messing with blood circulation, we think, or we speculated, that his tongue had lost a lot of blood circulation and he could no longer feel it and or control it. That's why it would flop around every which way, and then eventually it just broke off. So this was a first. He's eating, and as Dave pointed out to me this morning, it wasn't really useful.
Yeah, I think it was crippled. Like, I don't know, the best thing I can explain is it seemed like he had a stroke, like his tongue had a stroke. But the good news was he was kind of a jerk to me this morning, which is more normal.
Yeah, I was like feeling really hopeful this morning until I found that.
He's still able to eat. Can I see how much is left?
There's like barely anything. I opened his mouth.
Oh, wow.
There's like nothing.
It's all the way back to almost the throat.
Yeah.
Well, he seems to be still coordinated enough to eat, so.
Do you think that, like, do you think it matters where it breaks? Like, can he choke on what's left of his tongue?
The part that's there is the only part he can control.
Yeah, that's how I felt too. Like, that's the only part he actually had feeling.
Yeah.
Because I would watch him with his tongue when it was long, and it would be like, you could tell he could control some part of it, but the majority was flopping around.
He seems like he's eating better now. Because he's not like, it's not getting in the way. I wonder if he didn't eat a lot because it was like really difficult. But now, I mean, he's just throwing them back.
Who did we get that information from about the tongues breaking?
I mean, it could be old information.
I'm almost
We
wondering,
probably had it-
like, because if we heard that when we first
We
got
heard it
him,
like 15 years ago, you know, maybe probably longer, because it was like Fiji.
I'm gonna have to be the strong one today.
The fact that he's been fighting as hard as he is actually, I would think, a good sign.
I feel like he prefers these a little wet when I put him in his water.
Want some more of this breakfast?
Oh, I need to give him his insulin.
Well, he wants the pellets.
So today is the morning where just all the crap things have happened. And I went to take Rocko to his vet appointment. I left probably 15 to 20 minutes early. And they called me while I was on the road and canceled my appointment, just saying like they don't have any exotic vets available and we'll have to reschedule. And you can imagine how that went over with everything that happened this morning. I just like lost it. So I'm driving to WSU, which is a veterinary hospital, and they're gonna see him. And I just have to, no. He just has to be seen at this point. I can't just keep doing this. I have to figure this out. So we're on our way. We're partway there. It's about 2.5 hour drive and we've made it about an hour so far, and I'm just taking a break and giving him a little bit of food and water because I just like don't know how dangerous it is for him to not have it all the time. I'm just so scared. So hopefully there's good news today, because I just I don't know. I try not to lose my mind so that I can drive safely. It sucks. I know, and I keep looking at you, all freaked out. My energy's terrible. He's being so good. I'm just scared. Super scared. We're here at the vet. I just gave all of the information. We're just waiting to see the actual vet and have an exam. This guy is falling asleep. Yeah. He's actually a little bit irritable. Well, not right now, but he was in the car. Which was a good sign, I feel like, but I don't know. That's like the whole thing. I don't know. But we're here. And they took us, and we're so grateful. And hopefully we get answers. I'm really tired of not having answers. You know what sucks about being super stressed is making mistakes. So I brought all of what I thought was Rocko's vet work with me, and turns out I brought everybody's but his. Like literally handed them all my parrot's blood work and not Rocko's. Like a freaking idiot. Really? They came in, oh my gosh. Like so dumb. So they are calling my vet and getting that sent over, but I just feel, we make mistakes when we're just stressed out, not thinking. I can't believe I grabbed all that paperwork and none of it was Rocko's. So we got here at 11 and it's now after 12. We haven't seen the vet yet. But Rocko seems content. So that's good. Well, the good news is that he definitely seems ready to go home, and he's flown up on me like 3 or 4 times. So flying is pretty huge for him right now, even if it's short. He flew up here, so that's really good. He's very clingy all of a sudden. I think he wants to go home. They gave me the option of leaving him here to do some testing of insulin to see how much his body requires, and that requires testing it multiple times a day, figuring out the right ratios and all that, or taking him home and not treating him, which they said he won't last very long like that. But we're not prepared because I didn't bring like a bunch of his food, his pellets, and they don't have any toucan food. So I'm gonna take him home. We couldn't get anything overnighted. It was gonna take at least 2 days, and I don't want him to go that long without pellets. So I'm gonna take him home. We're gonna drive 2.5 hours home, probably longer because the roads are horrible, and get him some food. They're gonna send me with some fruit, which is nice because he ate everything I brought. And then I'll bring him back tomorrow with supplies, and they will run these tests, and we will learn a lot about how to manage diabetes in toucans because there's not enough information, and we need the information. And Rocko's been fighting, and I don't want it to be for nothing. So, all right, buddy, you deserve to feel better. They've kind of given us a whole like lifespan of about 3 years with diabetes. If all goes well with him staying here and getting all that stuff done, we are going to be giving him daily injections with a needle for the rest of his life, I think. So got to figure that out, what that looks like. Yeah. But I love him, and they agreed that he's fighting, he's hanging in there really nice. He can be doing a lot better, and hopefully this gets him better, but there's a risk that this doesn't do better and that he dies here in the hospital. So I've just requested that he doesn't die alone. So hopefully they can be here with him if anything goes downhill. But you're gonna fight, right, bud? I'm gonna be waiting for you on the other side, okay? You just keep fighting like you have been. You're super strong. We are on our way home, and WSU gave us fruit for the road, which was so sweet. We got bananas, grapes, blueberries, and he's sleeping. Lucky Rocko. So we're going home for the night, and we'll go back tomorrow with supplies and see what happens over the next few days that they have him. Good morning. Today is technically like day 1 of actually monitoring Rocko's blood sugar levels and treating him, giving him his first injection today. The doctor said that 4 to 5 hours after that injection is given is when his levels would be the lowest. So that's when they would test. Now, as far as I know, based on what she told me last night, they couldn't get the little apparatus to actually give them a reading. They did a lot of troubleshooting, and they kind of came up with nothing. She wasn't sure if it was because his levels are just off the charts, way higher than that reading can give, or if the apparatus isn't actually working and measuring any data at all. So they were going to call the company and try to troubleshoot that today, and I should have an update every evening of every day for how things went. But I know that she said every time anybody looked at him, he would go to eating, and it sounds like he's settling in fine and he's handling it like a champ. So I am timid to say I'm hopeful, but I am actually hopeful. And I'm here at the gym this morning to shut off my brain for 45 minutes about this entire thing. So yeah, hopefully this is a little bit of relief where I just can't think about it. So it's kind of hard to go the entire day knowing that like the update's coming in the evening and I'm just all over my phone and becoming that obsessed person. And so I'm really trying to tame that down and distract myself. So off to work out.
Even if that means that we have to poke him a little bit more frequently, we definitely don't want to. Be putting that off. I am still hopeful that the scanner will work for it. So as long as nothing big has changed, we will probably just give you a call again in the evening because that's when we're going to know what the dose is, you know.
Okay, yep, that makes sense.
We'll go from there.
Awesome, thank you so much.
Of course, thank you. It's been nothing else. This has been a very interesting case to work on. Bringing it down.
All right.
Hopefully we'll be able to find something that'll work for him.
Yeah, I sure hope so. All right, well,
Right.
thank you.
Of course. Take care and have a good evening.
Sounds good, you too. I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye.
Unfortunately, the apparatus they tried to attach to Rocko malfunctioned, and the vet ended up needing to get a replacement from the company. So while in waiting for it, they had to test his glucose levels the old-fashioned way, with drawing blood instead of being able to use this handy scanner. This means poking him multiple times a day to accurately read and respond to his glucose levels with injections of insulin. An ideal range for him to be in is 200 to 400, and Rocko's first glucose test showed him at 1300, more than twice as high as he tested in October, which was just 2 months previously at just 600. So then Rocko got worse. The top recorded glucose level in an animal at WSU that was recorded was a dog at 1300, and obviously Rocko had matched that. So the following day, he actually surpassed it with a glucose level of 1790. So lucky for me, our travel schedule was kind of crazy. We were doing a lot of master classes, and I say lucky because if I would have just been sitting home, I probably would have just stared at my phone all day, and at least doing classes and interacting with people and their birds was keeping my mind off of just waiting by the phone, because I didn't get these updates until the very end of the day. So the more I could just not dwell and think on it and stew and wonder how he was doing, the better for me emotionally and mentally. And so I would get these updates in the evening, and it was very up and down. So every day it was just really up and down and totally different data. And it was one of the things that I had told them coming in there. I was like, I can't seem to get behavior to match medical stuff. So if his behavior was awesome, his weight would be really low, which didn't make sense. But if his weight was really high, then behaviorally he seemed like messed up and just old and decrepit. And I was just like, what's happening? Like, this doesn't make any sense. So when I was getting the updates from them, it was pretty much the same sort of information. If they managed to get his glucose in a nice range, which to us was anything that the reader could actually read because it doesn't go above 900, and he started well above that. So anything that could actually be read on this reader, we were really stoked about. But if we got a nice glucose range, his weight would be just awful. And if we had an awful glucose range reading, then his weight would be amazing. And we were just, oh my gosh, it was the most confusing up and down emotional roller coaster I've been on. So while we were traveling, Dave was able to capture some of the moments because I grabbed my phone and always knew when it was the vet, and he videotaped some of the calls and interactions. I'm going to share some of them with you because this has been the most up and down thing I've ever experienced with a bird. Normally with a parrot, at the point that we're at with with a toucan, Rocko, like, I don't feel like a parrot would have made it past this. I don't think they could have handled this sort of weight loss. Just all these things usually mean in a parrot that, like, it's too late. And so it was just super drastic emotionally how many times I thought we were going to lose him, and then how many times I'd be surprised with, like, good news.
At its most efficacious, so like when the blood sugar would dip the lowest, we were down into that range that we were shooting for.
Are you serious?
So we're gaining ground. So we're definitely not done tweaking things because we'd like to see if we can get them a little bit more consistently there. But yeah, I think our lowest reading on him today, he dipped down to about 370.
No way!
Wonderful. Yeah.
Oh my God!
Thrilled with our little troublemaker.
Oh my God!
Yeah. So we're not quite there yet, but definitely moving in a very, very good direction.
Oh my God! I never thought you'd say that.
I was thrilled when I saw that. So plan for the weekend. But what we're going to do, we're going to keep on. And again, I was talking with our internal medicine folks the whole time on this, and they were kind of reassuring me, like, this is a slow process. And I was like, all right, I can be patient. But what we're going to do through the weekend is we're going to continue at the dose that we gave today, and we're going to keep just doing it once a day. That should give him a good period of time when his blood sugar is low like that, when I shouldn't say low, when it's like that, and when the insulin is working, the big thing that the insulin does is it lets the cells actually take up those sugars. So that's going to hopefully help him gain some weight back.
Okay.
I will for sure be talking to you again on Tuesday.
Oh my gosh. I'm so grateful. Thank you. Thank you for everything.
Of course, yeah. You guys enjoy your trip and take care.
Thank you. All right. I'll talk to you soon.
Sounds good.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh my gosh. That's so cool. I don't think he's ever been that low.
It's a huge drop and like fast.
Yeah. I mean, he was 1790 yesterday. So does that mean it's under, was it 900 that went up to, or was it like 600 that thing
This
went up
one
to?
reads up to 900, so today we are at 672.
Okay.
And it's possible that when we gave the injection, it didn't all go in well, or maybe because he's eating more, his blood sugar is a little bit higher.
Over the next few days, I continued to get mixed reviews from the vet on how Rocko was doing. He was having good days. They were always followed by bad days, it seemed. So if they managed to get his glucose within range, then his weight would be lower than ever, and behaviorally he wouldn't be doing great, and then vice versa, leaving us all just confused.
I am here at the vet with Rocko. I just came to visit because he's been here for a week now. And they're taking good care of him, but if you can see, his beak is drying out really bad. I've never seen it this like flaky and dry before, ever. I brought him some toys and a heated perch. He's breathing a lot harder than he used to. You can kind of hear it, you can kind of see it with his mouth open a little bit. He's definitely like breathing harder. He's sneezing more. So they have him on antibiotics. They're not sure why he's sneezing, why he's breathing harder, but they're worried that maybe there could be an underlying infection that we aren't catching because of focusing on the diabetes so hard, which we have to focus on diabetes because it's the thing. Bless you. But he's sneezing a lot. It's not normal to be sneezing as often as he is. His balance still isn't super great, but his weight is really up. His behavior's good. I don't really know what to think. They're still trying to figure out dosage. I gave him a bath a little bit, like just kind of sprayed him with a spray bottle, make him look nice. He greeted me really nice when I first got here, and he fell asleep on me, which was really sweet. He was in feathers. Yeah, but he's still low weight for where he should be. I'm crazy can. So I'm just visiting with him. We fly out tomorrow for some classes, and they still want to hang on to him to figure everything out, figure out his proper dosage. They thought maybe they'd go from 1 unit to 2 units and give him insulin twice a day, but that ended up being too much, and so now they're doing 1 and then a half a 1, and they're just still trying to figure out dosage and what this looks like. Love you. Like, stop touching me. Just want to squeeze you. Squeeze you. Love you, crazy can. So, brought him some stuff for his enclosure. And I asked the vet about doing some coconut oil and stuff on his beak. So they're gonna do that and try to clean it up a bit. Buddy. I was told that long-term care, that he only has probably a couple years, and that it would be hopefully attaching a blood monitor, like a blood sugar monitor, to him permanently, that I would have to check multiple times a day and give him insulin as needed. So it's a lot a lot. They did say they would board him anytime we travel because they do medical boarding, so medical-based boarding, since he would have a lot of medical needs. I definitely couldn't throw any of that on a caretaker. No, can you tell that he's like doing these big breaths? His breathing's really bothering me. I don't know what the right route is, but he's gonna be here another week for sure while we still try to figure this out, because his levels are all over the place. Love you, buddy. What do you think? Just gonna spend some more time with him. Love you.
Diabetes in toucans is relatively a new challenge caretakers are faced with. I've not been given direction on preventative measures to take with a captive toucan's diet. I tried making changes to a lower sugar-based diet when he was diagnosed as pre-diabetic, to no avail. There's limited resources available on toucans just in general, and we understand so little about them that it makes it nearly impossible to properly care for them in our homes. Please help spread awareness about these issues and help me in discouraging toucans as pets. It's not fair to them that we can't get it right. I will bring up that I've been asked a lot about different things, and I just want to recap this video with a few things that I've learned in this process. I've learned that a toucan can survive without its tongue. I've learned that if they only break off the tip of their tongue, it can actually grow back. I've learned that their glucose level can just get crazy high and they can still survive. I've learned that it's a guessing game on the proper amount of insulin to the diet. We've always thought that we were battling iron storage disease with toucans, and now that seems to be the least of our worries if we ensure that they're on a low iron pellet with access to fruits. I incorporated very low iron vegetables. I incorporated things like carrots and beets into his diet, trying to stave off diabetes, and it just didn't work, and I don't know why it didn't work. I don't know why he got diabetes so young. I don't know why it hit him all of a sudden so quickly in a time frame of looking amazing in September and being full-blown on the ground of his aviary diabetic in October. I don't know the role that protein takes in the toucan diet. I know that there's a lot of toucans in aquariums and I shouldn't say in actual aquariums, but like the Dallas Aquarium, for example, has a huge toucan aviary, and they're housed in that aviary with a lot of other different types of birds who eat higher protein than the toucans are intentionally given, and that those toucans steal the chopped up pinky mice from other birds' diets, and that they catch wild birds that end up getting in that aviary and they eat them. So I don't know the role that any of this plays yet. I hope to figure it out. I hope to find out, because obviously the diet that we know about right now is not working. And this was kind of the case long ago when the diet that they used was not working and they were dying from iron storage. Now the diet that we're doing that is really well known right now isn't working, and it's leading to diabetes. And it just sucks to have done everything right by the book of knowledge that we currently have and still be in this situation. I don't know if Rocko is predisposed to having diabetes. We really don't know yet, but I do plan on sharing everything I learn with all of you so that hopefully it can go to helping other toucans and helping us learn more about them so that we can do better by them.